All right, traders, it is Wednesday in the day trading room, and you all know what that means. So it's time for a real life interview with a real life trader. And we have a very special guest on the show today because this gentleman is a good friend of mine. Someone that I have known for many, many years, someone that I have stayed with, lived with for a few weeks, hung out with, toured the entire country with, just a phenomenal dude. And it's none other than your boy, Director of Strategic Partnerships with Real Life Trading, Mr. Jonny Guarco. Jonny, thanks for being here.
Morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing so good. So it's morning for Jonny because Mr. Guarco lives in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 7 a.m. Well, technically 6:57 over there right now. So when I visited Jonny, I was over there a few times, two times, and the market opens at what time is it? 2:30 a.m.
3:30 right now.
3:30. So it's from daylight savings time. So it's either 2:30 or 3:30, right?
3:30 or 4:30.
3:30 or 4:30. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, it's 4:30 right now, and then when daylight savings time happens, then we go to 3:30.
So when I was there, I think it was 3:30, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So with the morning room, with the day trading room starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, I was doing the show at 3 a.m. pitch black outside. We had gone to bed at like 7 or 7:30. So it was a really, really exciting and very fun trading schedule. Jonny, so you have kids, you have a wife, you have a job. You told me that we want to do, when we did this interview, we want to talk a bit about life. Tell us just a little bit about your schedule and how in the world are you such an absolute machine? How do you do it?
Because I have a dream. That's why. You got to have something to be able to get up at 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning. So I'm just a big believer in dreams, and my dream is to be financially free one day. And for me, what that means is having time, because I think we all know how important time is in our lives. So that's what it is, man. It's self-discipline. I was in the Marine Corps for 23 years, and I don't think I have to tell anybody how that instilled self-discipline in me. So I decide what I want to do. I pick a big dream, and then I just go for it, man. And so part of trading is creating that financial freedom for myself and my family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's your schedule look like on a day-to-day basis?
Right now I'm getting up about 4 in the morning. Got to get ready real quick, and then try to get on the computer maybe 4:30ish, which is not really a great time. As we all know, if you add 6 hours to 4:30, that's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's usually right when something is either going to happen or the market is slowing down right before lunch. So that's the one bummer about living in Hawaii, is actually the time zone. It's great in the respect that you can get up, you can trade for a couple hours and have the rest of the day for yourself. But then again, it's really tough, because I tried getting up at 3:30, if you remember, Jerremy, when you were here, and I can't sustain that. I'm a good 8 hours a day sleeping guy. So if I don't have that 8 hours, I'm just a mess the rest of the day. And you're the one who taught me, hey, pick your lifestyle, pick what you want to do in life, and then design your trading plan around your lifestyle. So
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of my biggest takeaways, because what a lot of traders, what a lot of people will do is they will say, okay, I want to trade profitably, and then I want to do this, whatever that is. And it's like, no. Start here, right? Start with whatever that dream looks like, whatever that goal, whatever financial freedom looks like, and
right.
Then make trading fit into that schedule. Because if you're not open at market open, I was telling Brad, when I worked full time or when I was in college, that's what made the afternoon day trading for me so viable is because I was in college and I partied every single day. So when I woke up, and I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but I did it. But when I woke up, waking up at Eastern, I'd wake up at like 11:30 Eastern, after a long night of partying, and then I would go trade sometimes. And so that would be like, the market had been open for 2 hours, things have slowed down, so on and so forth. And I would go and do my afternoon trading, and that was my specialty for a long time when I was, way, way long time ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. So what does financial freedom look like to you, Johnny? What are you going to do?
Let me just finish and tell everybody about my schedule because I just
Yes.
got past my wake up time. So, like I say, I get on the computer about 4:30 ish, and then what happens right after that? All hell breaks loose because right now I have at home I have a 5-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 20-year-old. And what does that little group do every morning? They get up and they go to school. So that's what the tough deal is for me. And I know Brad Reed, especially, and a lot of the other parents out there in this world, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a difficult time because kids get up, a little bit before 6, believe it or not. They start getting ready. Mom gets up and we start making breakfasts and start making lunches and trying to get the kids out the door. So that's going on while I'm trying to trade. So
Yeah.
then they get out the door usually about 7. But unfortunately, right now I have this bad 3-letter word called a job, and that job is something that takes up about 9 to 10 hours of my day. So I go off to a full-time job, usually about no later than 7:30, and stay there. And then my 11-year-old right now is playing baseball, so his schedule usually about 3 times a week. During the week, he has practice, and so he finishes usually about 6:45 ish. So we get home about 7:15, eat dinner, spend a little time doing homework, spend a little time with the kids, and then it's time to get them ready for bed. And then, if you remember right, Jonny is an needed 8 hours of sleep a day. So, I got to hit the rack. That means somewhere around 8:30 at night. So that's my day, man. From 4:30 in the morning till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And if I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night, I'm starting to hit the edge where I'm going to be tired the next day. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate being at a job and you're banging your forehead against the desk trying to stay awake all day.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
Yes. So, where does that leave me in trading? Not very much time, unfortunately, right now. But you know what that is? That's just a big incentive for me to go ahead and build my talent, build my skill in trading, and use that as a tool to gain my financial freedom. So going into your question, Jeremy, what is financial freedom to me? I'm blessed because I live a really good life. I have a really good job as far as money is concerned. My wife has a good job. We're blessed as a family. I couldn't ask for a better family than I have. But financial freedom is, to me, it really has a little bit to do with money, but it has everything to do with time. When people say to me, "Hey, I'm gonna hit financial freedom for me, but I got to put in another 10 or 15 years." Well, that why do you have to do that? That means, what does that mean? You got to save enough money so you can, be able to live a good life when you retire. Well, if you want financial freedom, that's what you're trying to do is get time back in your life. And it doesn't mean you have to wait 10 to 15 years to get that. So, I want to be able to spend the short amount of years that we have on this planet with my family. So that's the driver. That's financial freedom for me.
Absolutely. And I want everyone to, just so that we clear up. So Johnny is the reason I'm not interviewing Brad is because I don't have to interview Brad. You guys hear him every single day. I'll get Angie on the mic at some point as well, and I'm sure Albert. But Johnny is one of my mentors. I look up to him as almost like as a brother and a dad at the same time. You know, we give each other hard times. We talk on the phone. And I've been in Hawaii and lived with him and seen his schedule, and he's just a walking sergeant, man. This guy is just an absolute legend. And one of the things that you did teach me, Johnny, and I think it's really important for people to take away, is that time aspect. What a lot of people do is when they're talking about financial freedom and they're talking about money, they think of all the things that they can do with money and how that's going to allot them more time. The challenge is that's the exact, as we mentioned earlier, that's the wrong formula. You got to structure everything that you want to do now around what would you do if money was absolutely no object? You had billions of dollars and you could do whatever you want. What would your day look like? And then slowly start piecing your day-to-day activities together by doing that. So for me, it was like, okay, well, I want to travel at least 2 weeks every month to somewhere new. And slowly but surely, you know, I go, okay, that's what I want to do if I have money's no object. So I just slowly start doing that. And that's one of the things that Johnny taught me is this, you know, live your life based on time, not money. Find out what things mean the most to you, what you love doing, and just slowly start taking tiny incremental steps towards that and building it over time.
Absolutely. So let me say two things though. So Jerremy talks about me being his mentor, but you know, it's funny, and I think that's why we have such a great relationship, is because even though I'm a lot older, I just turned 58. Jerremy and I are like, he calls it a father-son relationship, but to me, it's like he's one of my best buddies. You know, I have learned so much, you know, from Jerremy Newsom. And you know, what do they say about, you know, if you want to be successful, you got to hang around and be around successful people. Well,
Yeah,
you know I'm singing to the choir right now, but you know, Jerremy Newsom is who you want to spend your time with. You know, the Brad Reeds, you know, those guys are the ones that you're going to learn from, the ones you're going to, you know, get good habits from. And I can't express how important that is. And, you know, Jerremy, that's why I love you. You know, you're 30 years old, but the wisdom that you have, you know, definitely surpasses me tenfold. So I wanted everybody to know that. But number two is, you know, so if you guys don't listen to Jay Shetty, you guys should, because you know recently he talked about time, and I absolutely loved his inspirational speech. But think about this, and go do some research and go look at, you know, guys that are successful in this world and see what time they wake up. Do you think they wake up at, you know, 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning? No, they get up at 4 and 5 and 6 in the morning. And here's the reason why. Think about this for a second. Let's just pick an arbitrary number, you know, maybe because it divides easy, but let's say everybody lives 75 years, okay? If you sleep 7 hours a day, guess how many years of sleep that is? You can bust out your calculators, but I'll save you the time. If you live 75 years and sleep 7 hours a day, which is not that much to me, you're sleeping almost 22 years of your life away. 22 years. Let's just say that you're a 9-hour sleeper. You know, I know Mr. Newsom used to be able to sleep like, I don't know what it was, like 12 hours a day, but that's because he was still in his 20s, right, Jerremy? But let's just say that you're a big sleeper and you like sleeping in on the weekends and everything else. Let's say you sleep 9 hours a day. Well, in a 75-year lifespan, that's going to be 28 years that you slept. So let me ask you guys this. You know, do you think that you can achieve your goals and your dreams when you sleep your life away? You know, and that's why all these successful guys and gals around us, all, you know, they get up at 5 and 6 in the morning because they want to start their day. That's where if you heard Dr. Dean Chance yesterday tell everybody, that's when our brains are as active as they're going to be during the day. So I just throw that out there, Jerremy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate sharing that, man. And that's You're absolutely right. I mean, bottom line is it comes down to having that dream. One of my quotes, favorite quotes by Tony Robbins, be led by your dreams rather than be pushed by your problems.
Yep. Love it.
So it's like, let it pull you, because you want to accomplish that. And a lot of people truly are just afraid, especially me. For a while, I was really afraid of writing down and openly and publicly telling people exactly what I want in life, because once they do that, and it's like, all right, well, you have to achieve it, otherwise you're a failure. It's like, well, not necessarily, because you can take different avenues and different approaches, and sometimes those things change. I mean, I've called Jonny with 100 million different ideas over the last 4 years, and none of those worked. or none of them panned out to do anything. But it's like, that's okay. It's like, you have to dream, you have to come up with what you want to do, and you have to attack it with all of your might. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And, you know, for me, what I've learned over the years is, you know, you can sit there and think, okay, well, I want a Lamborghini, or, you know, I want to travel to Rome, or, you know, and those are great dreams, you know, if they're going to fulfill something for you. But to me, you really, really, really have to have a reason behind your dream. And what is that reason? You know, for instance, working out. Okay. I know, you know, a lot of people here work out because, you know, actually we're having health and wellness month right now. But, you know, what is it that kicks you in the butt to get you to do those burpees every day? What is it that makes you put on your sneakers and drag your butt to the gym even though you're exhausted? So, you know, a perfect example is when I'm at work, okay? You know, I finish usually about 5 at night. My son's playing baseball, so I was like, okay, you know, do I just want to chill and go watch him, or do I need to get my butt in the gym? And I drag my butt in the gym, and here's the reason why. I have a 5-year-old, and I get a little bit emotional, and I know Stephen King is right behind me because he has a daughter um, very close to my daughter's age. But, you know, I want to walk that girl down the aisle, you know?
Yeah.
I want to hold that girl's baby.
Yep.
And so that's my reason.
Yeah.
That's why I get my butt in the gym. That's why, you know, I do the things that I do, you know, for my family. And you
Absolutely.
guys got to get a good reason too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you got to have that why. You got to have something that is really, really driving us. So tell us about a recent battle that you've gone through, Jonny.
Oh man. Now that you got me emotional,
Yeah.
now you want me to go into this,
Yeah.
huh?
Let's just start crying if that's okay.
All right. Well, yeah, you may hear it, guys. You know, it's funny because, you know, I'm a United States Marine, you know, to the blood, but hey, I'm an emotional guy. And when I start talking about things that are close to my heart, then,
I
you
love
know,
it.
pardon my emotions,
I love it.
but I let them out. Now, you know, I just had cancer surgery.
Prostate cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something that my dad had gone through, and so I told Jonny, I was like, man, this is going to be the easiest battle that you've ever done. I was like, this is nothing. This is not going to hold you back. And
No.
it was a big deal for me to make sure that you guys knew that Jonny was one of the people that helped me create real life trading. I got to a point financially where, you know, and I've told a lot of you this before, that money is never the issue. Like, if you want to create something, if you want to create your dreams, if you want to build value for people, if you want to enrich lives, if you want to really attack what your truest heart's desires is, money is never going to be the issue. You can always go get the money. So I had to reach out to Jonny to help me in numerous instances, and he was there and he helped me, and that's, you know, and I told him he was going to be along the journey with me for real life trading the entire time. And so when he was going through the surgery, it was, you know, like I said, my dad had gone through the same surgery, and when Jonny was going through it, I was like, man, you've got this. So how long are you on rest now at your house?
Yeah. I had surgery 3 weeks ago, and, you know, I believe in God. So if you don't excuse me, but, you know, I believe God was with me, and, you know, I had the surgery on on a Friday, and the next day I was walking around and I told the doc, I said, Doc, I'm going home, man. I got to get out of here. I got things to do. And so, you know, and the only reason why I say that, is again, back to the self-discipline, because that self-discipline, absolutely, as you know, you've heard Jerremy, Alexander Newsom, talk about it over and over and over again. You can have the greatest plan in the world, but unless you have the self-discipline to put that plan into place, you're not going to be successful. So, and again, a lot of things that I've learned from Jerremy, that positive mental attitude, I said, okay, back to my 5-year-old, my 11-year-old, and my 20-year-old son, and I also have a 28-year-old son or daughter who lives in Alaska, but, they're the reason why. And I said, they're not going to see me in a point of weakness. They're going to see me in a point of strength, because they need to understand in life that they're going to hit a lot of obstacles and road bumps in life. And they got to know that a positive mental attitude can get you past anything you want it to. And so, yep, man, I had my prostate taken out 3 weeks ago, and was blessed because the doctor believes that, he got it all. It went past my prostate gland, which was a little bit unexpected, but he believed that during the surgery that he got it all. So we are so blessed with our medical technology that we have today. And, I'm telling you guys right now, so, we're in the health and wellness month again, and you guys got to take care of yourself. You got to make that a priority in life, and you got to make that one of your dreams, whether you have children or not. You got to take care of yourself. And a big part of that, as you heard Dr. Dean Chance talking about yesterday, is eating well, So my doctor told me, asked me about my eating, and I said, Doc, man, I eat a chocolate bar every day. I have ice cream almost every day. I have the biggest sweet tooth in the world. And I said, then the other thing is, those carbs. I just love those breads and those chips and the spaghetti, And then the other thing is, man, the dairy. I love milk and I love cheese and, the ice cream. And he goes, great, John. So listen to me, brother. So guess what cancer feeds off of? I don't know, Doc. Tell me. It feeds off sugar, John. They're like the bad guys. They're bullies at school. The ones that, walk up to the front of the line in the cafeteria and say, give me those cookies, give me the ice cream, because that's what they need to grow. Those cancer cells need to have sugar in order to have the power and strength to multiply. So Doc said, John, you better stop eating sugar. You better stop eating carbs like Dr. Dean talked about yesterday, because carbs turn into sugar. And he said the other thing is dairy. Dairy in itself is not good. So he said, here's an easy one, John. Anything white, just stop eating it. White sugar, white flour, white milk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great, Doc. I walk in here and you tell me I have cancer. And then you tell me, oh, and by the way, take the 3 things that you absolutely love in life and stop doing them. So, needless to say, I've lost 23 pounds in about, it's about 10 weeks now. So,
Wow.
And I feel, and I didn't do anything except for, I did what he said, and because my life is on the line. That's the reason.
Yeah,
And
that was the leverage, right? That was you saying. That was
it's
okay.
like what gets my butt in the gym, because the other thing he said, like we were talking about yesterday also, was that exercise. Cancer doesn't like the oxygen flowing through your bloodstream, he said. So he said, exercise every day, man, 30 minutes. Just go out there and get that blood flowing. So yeah, man. So 23 pounds lighter, but I feel phenomenal. I used to have headaches almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
No headaches anymore.
Mm-hmm.
My clarity, getting 58 years old, that memory starts to go a little bit. My memory has gotten so much better. I just feel a lot crisper, a lot cleaner. And I feel like $1,000,000, man. I'm going to kick this cancer in the butt. It ain't going to, take over my life. And that's the attitude that we got to have in life, is towards everything. And that's an attitude that we have to have towards trading. Because as we all know, if trading was easy, there'd be a bunch of billionaires out there. But it's not easy. And you just got to have that mental toughness, and you got to have that reason behind you. And man, you put all that together and you'll have the reason why you're going to be successful.
That's some great advice. That's great advice, man. That's huge. I didn't know the doctor told you that.
Yep.
So when he said that, I mean, pretty much immediately you were just like, I'm out, I'm done. Like, I'm not, or meaning like, you're definitely, so you had no chocolate, no milk, nothing white since then?
I'm not going to tell you that because that's not true, but this is what I believe. I've cut probably 90, maybe 8% of it out of my life. But, and I believe, like Dean talked about yesterday, sugar, man, it's a drug. The dopamine, it just loves to increase that good feeling within your body. So it's a gradual thing, but I can tell you, man, I ate a piece of chocolate a couple of weeks ago, and it definitely did not have the delicious taste that it used to. Jeremy, you talked about it yesterday when you fasted. You remember when you fast and you do away with all that crap that you just don't crave it. But because those whites have been such a big part of my life, I haven't gone cold turkey, but I can tell you, it's on its way out.
Sure.
Definitely.
Sure. That's huge, man. So Brian had a question. He says, did you notice any signs to go get checked out, or was it a regular scheduled checkup? Like, how did you find out that you had prostate cancer?
Yeah, man, that's a great question, Brian. So, and a lot of people ask me, and Brian, thanks so much for that question, because see, again, I believe God now has given me a mission in life, and that's to help people and to educate people and get them to take care of themselves. And I'm going to do just that because, man, I got a big debt to pay right now. But so, Brian, this is what the deal is. And obviously I'm not a doctor, but, for me, it all started kind of with some urination problems. And so, as you know, as everybody grows older, especially men, your urination gets either more frequent or, your stream gets a little bit weaker. So both of those things were going on. So that was a signal for my doctor to say, okay, John, I know you're not going to like this very much, but we got to check out your prostate gland. And for those of you who know anatomy, and if you don't, go Google it, you'll find out how they check out your prostate gland. So, my doc said, yep, John, your prostate is a little bit, swollen. So the next step after those things is a PSA test. And I forget what it stands for. It's PSA, my understanding, is a protein that cancer cells give off as they're multiplying in your prostate. And so, we've been blessed with the understanding of that. And now we're able to look at prostate, this protein in your prostate, this PSA, and see what range it's in. And so mine was, ups and downs, and I don't know the exact score, but something like, above 4, they start getting a little bit concerned. A lot of guys find out that they have prostate cancer when they take a prostate test and they find out that their prostate or PSA level was like 15 or 20. Mine was back and forth below 4 and above 4. And for whatever reason in September, my doctor said, John, I think we need to send you to a urologist because I don't get why this thing is going up and down, and we need to get that checked out. So you go to a urologist, and then they use ultrasound to determine the size of your prostate. And so my doctor said, John, man, your prostate is perfect size, and I'm like, well, why am I having all these issues? And he said, well, maybe what we should do is do a biopsy. So that's when they did the biopsy, and then it's all, downhill from there. But in downhill, I want everybody to understand that to me, that was a blessing. My wife told me last night, she said, John, do you realize that your urination problems just saved your life? Because think about this, my cancer spread past my prostate, and the doctor, through pathology was able to confirm that, he got all the cancer. So sorry to be long-winded, Brian, but
No, no.
I hope that helps understand, what you guys should start doing as you start turning towards 50. The other thing, if you don't know about it, is colon cancer, kills a hell of a lot of people in this world. And so if you're 50 and you haven't had a colonoscopy, please go do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without question. That's like a must. It's usually like 50s that mark, and for with health issues, it's different with men and women. Pretty much once it gets below the belly button, things change a lot. But it's in this particular conversation, I appreciate you sharing that, man, and going into your personal story and your details, and it really is helpful. So going forward, what's next, John? What are you going to do next?
Oh boy. The immediate goal right in front of my face is just to be a successful trader, because here's another thing, and sorry to throw all these life lessons at everybody, but again, I feel like now it's my calling. It's as we all know, experience is a great thing, and everybody should listen to and take whatever they want out of experience. But those life lessons, here's another one. So I would tell everybody, no matter what age you are, that you need to create as many income streams as possible. And Jerremy really is the one who helped me understand and realize this. He slapped me in the head with this many times, and I didn't get it for a while, but I absolutely get it now. So having income streams is so critical, because if you're blessed to have a job that gives you some kind of retirement, or you have a in the military they call it a thrift savings plan, put a little bit into that savings plan and they match it every paycheck, then that's creating an income stream, because you can draw from that retirement. Obviously when you retire, some are blessed that they have also a retirement, so they get a retirement from their company. We have Social Security, which everybody says, can we really depend on that? Who knows? That's why you need more income streams. So what I'm getting at is, trading to me is just a tool, man. That's all that is. It's a way to create, another income stream. So Jerremy, to answer your question, what next? I realized how important being healthy is, and how important every single second of the day is. Jay Shetty talks about it, and again, go check out his recent inspiration talk on time. He talks about 86,400 seconds a day. So, what would a second mean to you? And I'm talking about myself again. My mother died in my arms. What would another second mean to you in your life? Jay talks about the Olympic athlete. What would another millisecond mean to a guy who came in second and won silver instead of gold? And you can go on and on and on. What does 5 minutes mean to you when you just missed the bus by 5 minutes? So what's next for me? I'm going to live a happy, healthy life. I'm going to create as many income streams as I can possibly do before I die. I'm going to spend, every second of every day appreciating what I have, and understanding that, I just want to spend time with my family. All we got in life is our family and friends. So I would tell everybody, work on those relationships with your family, because those are the ones who are going to be there, for you in the minutes that you need them. The friends, build true friends, and you got to understand who those true friends are. I have people that were calling me, who were texting me, while I was at the hospital saying, John, you okay? Those are the kinds of friends that you need to be with and hang out with. So, Jeremy, I don't have any grand plans, but those are my dreams. Those are my dreams just to live a good life. And I'll never forget when I was watching Private Ryan, at the very end of the movie. And this has stuck with me and will always stick with me. And when he's on his knee, at Private Ryan's grave, and he asks his wife, am I a good man? Have I lived a good life? That's what I want, Jeremy.
I love it. No, man, that's huge. That is huge. So true and so powerful. Speaking of wife, then,
Hello?
can you still hear me? John.
Hello.
I don't know if John can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Re-plug in your mic, John.
Hello.
We can hear you. You can't hear me. I'll pause the recording for a second. I'll get the recording turned back on. We heard everything you said about Private Ryan and everything. Yep. So thank you. Everything was great. You just couldn't hear me for some reason. So you were talking about the very end of Private Ryan, which is an incredibly touching movie, powerful scene. So talking to his wife, how did you, and I've had a lot of these questions, and Brad's had a lot of these questions as he's married with a family. Talk about spousal support. How did you get your wife to be so, or not how did you get her to be, but it's like, when it comes to spouses, what would be some advice that you have on just overall spousal support of trading and these ideas and these mindsets? Because that might have shifted after, the marriage, and that will sometimes can even change a person. So what's your advice on that?
So do we have time where I could read something real quick?
Yeah, we got 20 minutes.
So I have contractors at my house, so I'm on convalescent leave for 30 days. So just getting over this, I'm going back to work on Monday. I'm good to go, man. I'm really looking forward to getting back in that gym. But so the other day, I kind of, my East Coast hard-headedness and my abruptness. I kind of had a little head bumping session with my contractor, and afterwards he left, and then I told my wife about that. I wish I had about 10 hours to tell everybody about my wife. I'm not a tenth of the man without the woman who I married.
She's amazing. Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Yeah. Well, as you know, she's the reason why we're friends, because she's the one who was going through, stock market analysis training and told me, Jonny, you need to get off your butt and check this out. But let me just tell you this real quick story. So long story short, I had this headbutting session with my head contract or my contractor. And then I felt bad afterwards. And I'm like, John, one of my downfalls is my patience. And every day I understand this, and every day I fight that little devil on my shoulder, and I'm getting a lot better, but I should have been a lot more patient than I was with the guy. But I said, there's got to be a reason or somehow somewhere out there to help me understand how I can get better at this. So again, long story short, I popped up this thing. I actually think it was from Jay Shetty again, and because he was a monk, and I don't know where I found this, but this monk was asked, and it wasn't Jay Shetty, but this monk was asked, tell us exactly how you guys have created that aura of peacefulness about you, and how do you get to deal with difficult people that we're surrounded with. So this is what he wrote, and sorry, bear with me, but let me read this to you, because I just learned about peace, inner peace, patience, and understanding. And this is what this monk said. He said, the deeper your present moment peace gets, the easier it will be to react non-passionately when you confront with hostility. As this gets better, you can begin to realize more and more deeply just how much someone has to be suffering internally in order to have such a harsh reaction. With enough insight, you can develop your empathy and compassion based off this knowledge. And these also will help you remain even more peaceful in the present moment. Eventually, with enough compassion and insight on your side, you can begin to extinguish the fires of hostility by extinguishing anger with patience and understanding. It's hard to continue treating somebody harshly when they continue treating you so well. In helping them relieve these feelings, you not only help them, but you also help yourself, since you no longer have to deal with them as they were. So,
Wow.
what did a 58-year-old just learn? And
Yeah.
man, I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
I learn from Jerremy every day. I learn from the stock market every day. I learn from life every day. But you know, that instant told me with my contractor was, man, Johnny, you got to love yourself first. You
Mm.
you gotta you gotta have peace within yourself before you can have that compassion, that patience and that understanding with people. So I throw that out there to everybody, as if you have a hard time dealing with people. Just think about loving yourself, creating that inner peace, and that will help you gain patience and understanding with people.
That's huge. Huge. Man, I'm loving this right now, man.
Thank you.
What were you having a contract?
Likewise.
What were you having a contractor over for?
Uh, so, I also fight the procrastination bug. I wish I had the Kingster here, because I know he could have helped me out with this. But I let a leaking toilet go too long, and it leaked. In my bathroom, it leaked into my office next to my bathroom, and it ruined the floors. A
Dang.
leaking toilet, as you can imagine, has bacteria in the water, and so it climbed up the drywall, and I had to have all the floors taken out, the drywall redone, and $8,000 later, I have a new bathroom and new floor in my office. There's always a positive in the negative, right?
That's right, man. Hey, you got a new bedroom in the bathroom in the office. Nice.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that bathroom is my office.
Yeah, you should have hired Stephen King, man.
I know,
Yeah.
man.
Speaking of, if anyone's listening to this interview, and if anyone, whoever's hearing this live or in the recording, if you are in the military, I would at least suggest reaching out to Jonny, because obviously 23 years in the Marines, he's kind of like our military go-to person. Because even though my dad and all my brothers were in the military, I was the only like male Newsome who didn't get in there because I was just a weak scraggler. But in the same instance, it's just something it is important, because that's obviously, at least whatever country you are, but here in the United States of America, it is a privilege and an honor. So again, Jonny, thank you for your service. But for those out there who are there, feel free to reach out to Jonny, just asking him, because that is something that is a huge industry. I mean, a massive, massive portion of the U.S. economy. Tell us a little bit about what military men and women should be doing for their investments in retirement, Jonny.
Well, as we talked about a little bit before, they put money into their thrift savings plan, and fortunately, that they're a crew that they're able to get some retirement also out of the military. So they're blessed all around. I mean, right there, they have two sources of income that are really automatically coming in, and that's why anybody who listens to this, who's young enough and's got the inkling, I would so much encourage you to think about going into the military, and it's a great way of life. It's you get 30 days vacation every year, and I know what a lot of people are thinking, but yeah, you put your life on the line, and you have time away from your family, and I don't know that we want to go down that road with me about serving your country and uh, and that whole thing. But
Yeah, we know where you stand on that issue.
yeah, you don't even have to ask me, and don't ask me if I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. So
Yeah.
we'll move past that. But yeah, those guys and gals, to me, they're the heroes of our society. Not the heroes, but they are some of the heroes because they do that. They put their life on the line. They spend time away from the family. They protect our country, and we sleep well at night because we have those men and women out there who are serving our country. But sorry to go down that road a little bit, but what should they be doing, Jeremy? They should, be looking at skills that they can build that they can use when they get out of the military. And I'm not a big fan of jobs, but we also understand that owning your own business is a hell of a hard thing to do. But so if they're not doing anything, they should be focusing in on, okay, what skills, because it's like they're in college, man. They're in trade school. They should be learning as much as they can so they can get out and get a great job. Because think about that, at either if they come in at 18, 20 years later, they can retire. 38 years old, they have another career or two ahead of them that they could have. So, it's just like let's take a pilot or even a aircraft mechanic. Don't you think those guys can get out of the military and get a good paying job once they're out? So first thing is to focus in on creating those talents and those skills. Then, they need to start looking at, where they should be putting their money. We all believe, and we've heard it over and over again about living a life below our means. Man, I drive a 2008 Ford Explorer, and so I truly believe now, especially with this medical situation I went through, forget the material things. I mean, sure, those are nice to fulfill short-term good feelings, but go out and build the memories, man, and for those military people, you need to spend time with your family because you sacrifice so much that you need to give back to your families. And so on the financial part, back to that, just look for other streams. Why not trade? If you can't do day trading, then do swing trading. And what greater place to learn for free than real life trading?
That's right, baby.
So,
best place on the internet, man.
Does that sound good, Jeremy?
That sounds good. That sounds good. I mean, tell us about how often do military families do they move? Like, if they're living in a house, should they buy it and then rent it out when they move, or should they just lease or rent? Or what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a tough one because I'm living in a state where here in California, I think probably the highest cost of living. There's other places. I know I grew up in Maryland, so that whole area around DC and New York, it's just crazy real estate. So I think it just depends on where they're stationed, Jeremy, but it's something that they should definitely look at, because here's an example, and I'm sorry, I don't know anything. I was when I retired, I was a lieutenant colonel out here in Hawaii. You know how much lieutenant colonels in the military get for housing every month? Depends on how many years of service they have, but what would you think, Jeremy?
$4,000?
Pretty dang close.
Yeah.
So what do you do with $4,000? Do you pay somebody else's mortgage, or do you pay your own mortgage and build equity in that? So it has a lot to do with where the people are and stationed, and also not only that, but their own financial position. If they're living, paycheck to paycheck and barely making it, then maybe real estate is not the right thing for them to get into right away. But if you're able, to have some extra money left over every month, I certainly encourage buying real estate.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a huge takeaway. I mean, I think it's because I mean, it's like I said, there's tons and tons of benefits. What branch of the military should they go in if they want to get into the military?
Another great question. And, most Marines would tell you, there's only one that you need to go into. But and I believe, unfortunately for everybody who wasn't a Marine, I believe that the Marine Corps is the finest fighting force, the world over. But I can tell you, that being said, I work with Navy SEALs, I work with Special Forces guys, Green Berets, and all of our militaries are unbelievably fantastic, and I love them all, and I work with them all, and I would give my life, fighting next to any of them, whether they're in the Marine Corps or the Air Force or the Coast Guard or Army, wherever. It doesn't matter. But Jeremy, to answer your question, it depends on what they want out of life, man. If you love the water and you love, traveling all over the world, go into the Navy, man. Go on a ship. But you got to understand that's what your life is going to be.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the greatest plan to have if you have a family and kids. But that's me personally.
Sure.
If
Yeah.
you don't mind being away from your wife and kids, that's your personal problem and not mine. But if you like to fly, what are you going to do? You're going to go into the Air Force. If you want to, if you want to protect the United States and protect the waters around the United States, and also, have international engagement. I mean, the Coast Guard. What a phenomenal group of people who protect our country and our borders, and also serve overseas. So I would tell you, call me, write me, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily hear, what you should hear from a recruiter, because what is a recruiter, like Brad says, like the market makers, they get paid, to do what? What does a recruiter get paid to do?
Yeah.
They get paid to bring people in their service. So if it's not me, please talk to other people who have served, in the military, and then decide what you
Sure.
want to do.
Sure. That's huge, man. Big takeaways. Bro, my man, thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and for enlightening me, and for our beautiful journey together. If anyone ever goes to Hawaii, should they are they allowed to look you up? Should they reach out?
Don't even come here and not look me up, man. Because you're gonna hear about it if
That's right.
if you do. No, this is a great place. If you haven't been here, please come here. I would stay away from the Big Island right now, unless you're an adventure seeker and want to go see, flowing lava. But it's a super place, and just build your dream, guys, man. If it's not Hawaii, go build your dream, and go travel and do things that you want to do in life. That's what I say. Our life is too short, Jeremy, right?
Man, you got to build the dream. You got to do what you want to do every day.
Yep,
Without
absolutely. Hey, man, thanks for having me. I love this. I really appreciate it, and it helped me. It helps me get cured, and get past my little speed bumps in the road. But let me throw one thing at you, Jeremy,
Okay.
before I leave.
Okay.
Think about this if you can't give me an answer.
Okay.
Whether it's me or whoever, Brad, whatever. I think everybody in real life trading would love somebody to interview you. You have
Oh.
so much. I
Oh.
mean, you talk
Goosebumps.
about trading and you talk about life, but how many opportunities do you have, like I just had, to open up to people and have you express your inner feelings. And so if you can't answer me now, please think about it, and I would love to be the one to interview you. So
Oh man. Well, dude, first of all, it's an honor. Thank you. Second of all, yeah, it'd have to be you, because you're gonna ask you're gonna ask some deep questions, and you're gonna make me think. So absolutely, man. I do want to mention though one final thing to make you go. They'll make you smile.
yep.
And yeah, let's just get back at me. Let me know when you want to be on the other side of the mic, and we'll make it like a webinar. We can do it, longer than 30 minutes or whatever. But one of the memories that anytime people will say, meditate, think about something that you're happy about, that you feel generous about, think about something that you really smelled good, felt good, and just the world was perfect. One of those times for me, man, when me and you were running on that trail at like 2:30 in the afternoon on a random Wednesday, Remember
Oh, dude.
when we went hiking? Remember that? And I forget the mountain or where we were at, but it was like we ate those berries and we went to that place that, you know, no one was else at, and that couple was there, and we
Yep.
ran back and did that trail running, man. That was heaven for me, because you're running in Hawaii on this like red dirt clay trail, and you have these trees, this luscious just vegetation everywhere, and it looks like you're in a different planet. And it was just me and you, this Marine guy, just running almost full speed down this trail, dodging in and out of trees, jumping over roots. Man, it was amazing. I was blissfully happy for me.
Yeah. I mean, how you ever going to forget that, you know?
Never.
And that's what I've meant about spending time with family and friends. That,
That's right.
you know, we take our memories with us and we leave our memories behind.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I love it, man. Thank you so much for your time, Jonny. I appreciate it.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. That's my good friend, Mr. Jonny Guarco, ladies and gentlemen. A good mentor of mine, and just an overall incredible guy, incredible person, great husband, great father, great friend. So love learning from you. I always love interviewing the traders here, and I love Johnny's idea. So him and I will make that happen, where he interviews me. We'll let you guys know when that is. And if you guys have a question, make them good. If you want a good question, reach out to Jonny, email him a question, and you can always reach out to him on Slack. Just John Guarco. There he is right there if you want to message him, or you can email him. And I can't think of your email address off the top of my head, Jonny. Let me pull this up really quick. I know you have like 3 that you use. If you guys want to ever email Jonny again, because he mentioned that earlier, that if you guys are going into the service, or you potentially going into the service, or maybe your kids or grandkids, or you are in the service, email him johnguarco@gmail.com. So JONGUARCO@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much, Jonny. You're amazing, and ladies and gentlemen, you're all incredible. If you ever have any questions, ever need anything else, feel free to reach out. Let's continue enriching lives together. Let's keep growing together. Let's keep changing the world together and helping people. Steven says it's johnnyawesome@hoorah.com. That's right. That's right. Simplify. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys rock. I'll see you later. Next time. Love life, trade it. Bye.